What is going on, guys? Grave here today. I'd like to talk about kind of a sad day for ESO because the studio director, Matt Firor, has decided to step down from ZeniMax Online Studios. Now, of course, this information was released yesterday. It was something I hate to see because these old school game developers, I'm big fans of them. I always hate to see them go. I understand they have their own purposes, whether it be something personal or, they want to work on something else, whatever the case may be. But it's always something that I really hate to see. I'm just a big fan of gaming, and yesterday was kind of a sad day for gaming because before this was even announced, we heard that Microsoft was going to lay off a lot of their employees once again, and a lot of people are kind of tying this into Matt Firor's departure. I'm not sure if those two are linked. Nobody's going to know that until he decides to say that or somebody else does. That's not for me to kind of speculate on. But just overall, I hate to see these developers leaving. And like I said, I understand they want to go work on other projects or just personal time or whatever the case may be there. But I'm a big fan of gaming. I know I'll upload a lot of ESO here on the channel. But if you've been around the channel for a long time or if you're new and you've ever watched any of my other playlists, I play a lot of different games, and to this day, I still play a lot of different games. I may not always upload them all here on the channel, but I'm a fan of gaming, and I'm a bit older, of course. So I've been around gaming for a long time, since the Atari days. So seeing someone like Matt step down is kind of a shame because he's been around ZeniMax for a long time. He even made games back in the 80s. He made Dark Age of Camelot, which is a game a long time ago. It was really good. So it was just a sad time to see him step down. But he did release a kind of a statement saying, after more than 18 years leading ZeniMax Online Studios, I will be stepping away later this month. The studio and the Elder Scrolls Online will be in great hands under the direction of new studio head Joe Burba, along with the executive producer Susan Kath and game director Rich Lambert. Now, before I go on, the game is going to be left in really good hands. These three right here that he named have been around this game for as long as him, or in Rich Lambert's case, longer than him. The others have been around for almost as long as he's been there. So you're looking at the game still being in really good hands. But it's just still, like I said, kind of sad to see him go. Together, this leadership team has spearheaded many of ESO's biggest ideas and expansions and will continue to make this game something we're all proud of. While I won't be working on the game anymore, I will be cheering you on and adding to the thousands of hours I've already spent in-game. There are many more stories to be told, adventures to be had, and I know this is an amazing community will carry that shared legacy and success forward. Like I said, it's just kind of sad to see him go. He's someone that has worked on the game since it was thought of, since it was just an idea. Him and Rich have been there for the entirety of that. So those are usually the two people you see do a lot of interviews. And anytime Matt did an interview, it was always a very good watch or listen, or if it was a podcast or whatever, it was just very good, a very good content idea to me to hear his thoughts. And I'm really glad that he did a lot of those over the years because he's been around gaming for a long time. He knows gaming. He knows ideas of what needs to go into games and what people enjoy. So it's just something that I really like to experience, and I kind of hate. That's another reason I kind of hate that he's gone, because those were always really good things to me to hear when it comes from a game director that's kind of open and talks about stuff like that. So that's, like I said, it was a sad day because this news was posted after, of course, the news we heard about Microsoft letting people go. And a lot of people were saying that this is tied to why he's leaving ZeniMax. Who knows? And until he says that, that's his story to tell. I'm not going to speculate on that. But we did get a report from IGN, and Jill Braff, which is the head of the studio for Bethesda and ZeniMax, she released something saying she wanted to take a moment to acknowledge the changes happening today across Microsoft Gaming, including Bethesda and ZeniMax. Saying goodbye to talented colleagues and friends is painful. There's individuals who have contributed meaningfully to our studios, our games, and our culture, and I want to thank them for the contributions they have made and shaped our journey as a team and as a company. I will link all of this article you can see here on screen down in the description if you want to read over everything for yourself. She kind of went on to talk about Joe Burba taking over as Matt Firor decides to step down, and all of his time in the industry, and also all of Joe's time with ZOS. She did say that Matt will be leaving ZeniMax effectively on July the 14th. So here in just a couple weeks, kind of talked about the changeover, that kind of stuff. But just overall, like I said, it was kind of a sad day in gaming considering how many people Microsoft has laid off. They have had 4 layoffs in the last 18 months, and they have laid off a chunk of the people that have worked for them. And of course, there's a lot of speculation out there right now with this story coming out talking about the other game that ZOS was developing. It was going to be a game that was unrelated, a new IP that was unrelated to Fallout or the Elder Scrolls. It had a good big team behind it. There was, no confirmation, just from what I've heard. There were people from ESO that actually left ESO to go work on this new game, and they have completely cut that game in general. So it's not being made anymore. They've gotten rid of the studio, gotten rid of all the people that worked on it, gotten rid of the game. And that's kind of, I don't know if it's been put on the back burner or completely done away with permanently. And that's another kind of sad thing to hear to me. And I know a lot of people have their opinion about Microsoft. I was never a big fan of when these big companies, whether it be Microsoft or Sony, start buying these studios. And I understand the financial strain that a lot of these studios have, and it's easier to work for a bigger parent company because there's money there. But at the same time, I feel like every single smaller or even larger developer we see go into these deals with these larger companies, a lot of the good creators, a lot of the good games, things just don't seem to go right for them. Either the game gets changed, the game gets cut, the developers get cut, get laid off, decide to leave for personal reasons or disagreements or whatever the case could be for over all the years that this has been going on. But especially the last 18 months within Microsoft, I just feel like it just kind of hurts it in general. And I'm a big fan of Microsoft. I mean, I think back to the Xbox 360 where I first started playing online games with Halo and stuff like that. So that's always going to hold a special place to me when it comes to gaming. But at the same time, I hate seeing all these companies having to kind of dissolve and break up and change their ideas and change the games they want to make, just because the larger company they're kind of a part of now has a different idea of the way they want things to go. So like I said, yesterday was a pretty sad day when it comes to gaming for all the people that, of course, lost their jobs there at Microsoft. But it was a really sad day to see Matt Firor step away from ESO. And, of course, like I said, it's left in really good hands. I mean, we're not going to have, some big changeover. You're looking at 3 people there that were mentioned that have been working on the game for a really long time. And I'm sure they're going to continue to do everything that they're wanting to do going forward. But it's just, it kind of sucks to see someone like him that's been around and been a figurehead for so long kind of step down. But I hope everything goes great for him. I'm sure, on the tweet there, everybody was wishing him the best. You never know, we might see something from Matt Firor, in the future when it comes to a different game. But leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this. Is it kind of something that you care about? Do you keep up with the developers? I know some people do, some people don't. It's like I said, it's always just sad to see people leave. It's sad to see people lose their jobs. All of it just kind of was a lot yesterday when it came to gaming news about all this going on. So it was a lot of information at once. So I kind of wanted to just put it together in one video. But leave me a comment with your thoughts. And, of course, if you liked the video, hit the like. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so. And I'll catch you next time. Peace.